we've got our measurement, 32¼ inches, and I've got this mammoth 11¼ thick piece of walnut here that has this great figure right down the middle. Now, I need an 8-inch wide by 32¼ inch piece of this, and it needs to be properly jointed. I'm going to have to take it across the joiner and square it all up and everything so that I can cut the ends absolutely square so that it'll fit between the back legs. So watch me while I work on this board. Well, I've got the old Festool track saw set up here to make a real precise cross cut. I'm trying to get this massive piece of walnut down to a size that'll be workable. So let's see how this works. I think we might get through it on this cut. This saw will do almost 3 inches of depth. We're going to find out this time. Sometimes you just come up short. So got old Bessie here and finishing it off, finishing the cut with just a handsaw. There we go. Nothing like a hand tool in the right time. I've got the seat sanded and polished up to 1000 grit. So I have it covered up. I won't want to use protection where I need to use protection. And this, of course, is the backrest. Well, we're going to actually make another backrest for this one. Not that it needs 2 of them, but now that I've made this one, I'll be able to do hopefully a good job of showing you how to take this timber right here and carve it. I've cross-cut it. I've got it sized so that it'll fit in the place of this one. So I'm going to put it there between those legs and see how it works. All right, now we're going to cut the ends off of this so that our plank will be 32¼ inches. Well, we've got it to fit. Now I'm going to lay out the patterns. We'll cut the profiles, and I'll show you how to carve this masterpiece. All right, I've got this laid out on the board, and so I'm going to draw these profiles and then flip it over and get the other half. Got to find the center of this, and the center is something we need to mark all the way around at this point. Extremely important. And you'll want to keep up during the entire process with where the center of this backrest material is, because you're going to be working really away from the center. Very good. You always feel better when you mark all the way around and it comes back to the same place. That's kind of the proof there. Okay, now we need to lay out the profile this way. All right, I've got a bow here that I have set up, and I've found the perfect arc. And in your patterns, you'll have a pattern that you can use to set up this profile. Sometimes if you lay as much of this as you can on the surface and measure or mark to the outside, in this case the inside of the bow, you'll be able to hold it better. So I've used the patterns, and I've got it laid out here, and I found that I have something objectionable right here, and I want to make sure that if I did it the other way, it would be cutting into the lower part of the backrest, and I don't think I would want it right there. I think I can fill this little bit right here and make that work. There's a little knot right there. I might have to knock that out, fill it with some maybe colored epoxy. So you've always got to be looking for the things that might end up causing you some concern. But this is an interesting looking board, and I think it's going to make a nice backrest. So now, the next thing we have to do then is take this to the bandsaw and cut this profile out. And then I think we'll be in very good shape to start carving this beautiful backrest. I've got all the profiles cut out now, so now comes the fun part. We get to shape the backrest, sculpt it, if you will, into something you'll really be proud of. First thing we need to do is work right here. We've got to work this into work this center line. It just takes it. So I've just got a flat chisel here, and I'm working each side of this center line. It's a little thicker right over there, so that's why I've got a hammer, a chisel hammer for that. I'm trying to keep that kind of balanced and keep that line. You'll struggle the whole time with trying to keep this line here. You'll be kind of battling it as you go. See how this is rounded here? Well, we're going to take we're going to try to cut in like that and round it off. So we're on the back side, and that's the way that needs to be done. So one of the best ways I found to do that is to take a saw and do a little cutting in, and that gives you something to cut to so that you can remove a lot of this material here and get to that nice line. This is the bottom. There's the bottom there. And so here we need to cut in just a little bit at the time and kind of roll this forward. And it's nice to have something to provide a stop right there so that you don't cut too far to start with. All right. Now, cut a little bit that way, and you want to use a back saw, one that's nice and stiff, so you can get a nice straight cut. Now, the top right here, we've still got to cut in to make that round. There's a lot of material in here that's going to have to go away. So I'm going to make this cut even a little deeper. So we have something to cut to. All right, now I can start removing some of this. I like sculpting. That's why I do sculpted furniture. That kind of goes together, huh? See how you get this shape? You're just going to have to work with it with a chisel until it smiles at you. And yeah, it takes some time, but now that we've got this opened up, I can take the grinder and I can start the round over here. Now, I'm going to be working on the round over. There is a lot of round over to give this. Now, because it's more rounded than at the bottom than it is at the top. At the top, it just kind of rolls over. It's, but nothing like this. This is a very distinct, full round over. Let me give you kind of an idea what conceptually you're trying to do here. A teardrop or a drop of water that's hanging on something. Before it drops, it's at the weight is at the bottom. It looks full. And that's what you're trying to get down here is this fullness. Now, with this particular piece of wood, that's why I've placed all this figure at the bottom, because I want it to look like it is heavy, that each one of these lobes here is just hanging down, ready to burst open and kind of drop. So let's start this round over right here on this one. Let me get the grinder and I'll show you how to do it. I've kind of drawn on the end grain here to give myself an idea of where I'm going to be grinding away some of this walnut to do my roundovers. So you see, a lot of this is going to be gone. So let me start there and I'm going to work this way and let's see what happens.